hesitating. When you're just so tired of trying, all alone you feel like hiding. Together we'll keep fighting. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Feel this, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Can you see the sun is shining like a new hope? Feel it rising, coming over the horizon. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Feel this, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. There's no stopping.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello. We're actually live now. This is not pre-recorded. It is November 4th, and I'm Chris Gaudullo. I'm a licensed real estate referral specialist and also an associate broker with Realty Connect LLC. And this is my weekly podcast, Real Estate with Mr. G, where we talk about different items or different activities and trends that are going on within the real estate industry. And I'm in an informative role. And what I also do is I market for Realty Connect LLC, where I could help you find a home anywhere within the United States of America, not just Hampton Roads where I am. Okay, we could consult, or you could just go to my website, and I'll show it up later, where you could enter your information, and you will be presented with up to 3 top agents in that area. And this is also for selling, if you're selling a property. Okay, so it's really good. You can make a decision with whom you want to work with. We can consult, but the actual showing of properties or listing your home will be done with agents from Realty Connect LLC. And to give you a little idea exactly how this works, let me just show you a little video on it that sort of like puts it into a nutshell.
Imagine hiring someone for a job without an interview. That's how most.
Okay, how come it's not appearing on the screen?
Imagine hiring someone for a job without an interview. That's how most people pick a real estate agent. Unfortunately, most people don't find out what kind of agent they have until they're already in the middle of a transaction. But how do you find a great agent before making a move? Realty Connect is an invite-only network of the top 5% of all real estate agents in the country. Our free, easy-to-use online service helps you find the right agent for the job. Here's how it works. At Realty Connect, we analyze historical data from millions of real estate transactions and past client reviews to objectively determine which agents are good in a given area. Then we grade each agent on their skills, experience, reputation, knowledge, and communication. Extraordinary agents that score 95% or higher are invited into our network. This comprehensive vetting process allows us to recommend 3 top local agents that will be a good fit for a buyer or seller based on the client's unique needs and the skills and strengths of the agent. Just provide us with some basic information about you and your real estate goals. Once received, we'll match you with 3 top-rated agents that specialize in your market. Evaluate each agent and decide who you like best without any pressure or obligation. We make finding the perfect agent fast and easy, but the best part is our service is 100% free. That's right, none of our services will cost you a penny. We felt the best way to find a real estate professional, and it works by matching you with top-rated agents based on their skills and strengths. Our nationwide network allows us to serve every zip code in the U.S., so whether you're moving across the country or just moving across town, if you're buying or selling a home, let Realty Connect help you find an extraordinary agent today.
Okay. And just so you would know, and let me just quickly show you the caption up here. You could either type in real estate with Mr. G.US, representing all of the United States of America, or realtyconnect.com/Christopher-Gajulo. Okay. So either will work. I noticed that when I put real estate with Mr. G.US and a social media comment post, it sometimes does not carry over to the site. Okay. But if you just type it in your URL address bar, it will go there. Okay. So that gives you a little idea of what I do, and I think that's a good thing. Okay. So let's go to our topic question of today. Okay. And I think it's Chase from Norfolk. So let's bring in Chase.
Good day, Mr. G. I have been reading there has been an increase in foreclosures and bankruptcies. Will this be a detriment to the real estate market? Any advice will be most appreciated. Thank you for your weekly video podcasts. My family and friends enjoy them very much. Take care.
Okay, that's a very good question, and thank you, Chase, for posing that question. And yes, there was an article in Housing Wire. That's publications that's geared more for the real estate and mortgage professional, but there has been an uptick in foreclosures. Let me try to get this a little bit bigger. All right. And that might be a little bit hard to read, okay? But basically, let me just get to it. Hold on. I think it's over here. Hold on. Okay. So mortgage delinquencies ticked up in September. And this report came out on October 23rd. And while the mortgage delinquency rates remains low compared to pre-pandemic levels, so that's before 2019, the number of delinquent loans ticked up in September, according to the ICE Mortgage Monitor report. The national delinquency rate climbed to 3.29% in September, which is up 12 basis points from August and up 13 basis points from September of 2022. This makes it the second and largest annual increase in the last 2.5 years. However, the delinquency rate remains 71 basis points below the pre-pandemic levels of September 2019. And today's PDF file, and it's a post, an article that's on my blog site, will go into more detail about that. All right. So let's get that up on the screen. Okay. So foreclosures and bankruptcy won't crush or crash the housing market. So as per this article that I just showed, if you've been following the news, you might have seen articles about an increase in foreclosures and bankruptcies, and that could make you feel uneasy. All right. But the truth is, even though numbers are going up, the data shows the housing market isn't headed for a crisis. Foreclosure activity is rising, but less than headlines suggest. So in the recent years of 2020 and 21, there were forbearance programs and other relief options that were put in place to help many homeowners stay in their homes during that time. But when that moratorium ended, there was an expected rise in foreclosures. But just because they're up doesn't mean that the housing market is in trouble. So to help you to see things much, or how they've changed since the housing crash of 2008, check out the graphic or the graph below. Okay. So here it goes. Actually, it's going back to 2005, and you see this big uptick of foreclosures in actually the beginning of 2007 starts going up, and then 2008, and then it stays up and down in this area between 2009 and 2010. And as we get out of that crisis, it begins to fall. Okay, here we are around 2013, and it goes all the way down to where to 2020. It's really, really low. Okay, this chart is actually showing, or graph is showing, the first quarter and the third quarter. Okay, and we see, and it keeps on showing this the link here, but we see it's slowly moving up, but nonetheless, it's still below the pre-pandemic levels of around 2000, or even going back further to when the real estate market first crashed, that when we had that real estate bubble, 2007, 2008. Okay, and we're still well below that. So we see a little uptake here. Okay, but it's still well below the usual amount, or I will say prior to the crash in 2008. Okay. As you can see, foreclosure filings are inching back up to the pre-pandemic numbers, but they're still way lower than when the housing market crashed in 2008. And today, tremendous amount of equity American homeowners have in their homes can help people sell and avoid foreclosures. And that's because the prices of homes have gone up tremendously between 2019 and the present day. So here we show in this chart bankruptcy below pre-pandemic levels. And it's the period of June 30th, 2019 to 2023. So here we have amount of the foreclosures, 773, 361. It goes down and down, okay, as we're working towards we're in the pandemic, all right, and home equity is going up really, really high. And if people are having financial difficulties, they're selling them before they go into foreclosures, and they're still making money. So again, in 2023, we still have a little uptick, but still is way below pre-pandemic and during the pandemic area or time period. It's still pretty low. The number for 2021 and 2022 were lower than more typical years. That's in part because the government provided trillions of dollars in aid to individuals and businesses during the pandemic. So let's instead focus on the bar of this year and compare it to the bar on the left of 2019. It shows the number of bankruptcies today is still nowhere near where it was before the pandemic. Oh, this is actually, I apologize, this is actually bankruptcies and not foreclosures. They're showing the amount of people who declare bankruptcies. But it almost mirrors the foreclosure market or what's happening with foreclosures. So bottom line, right now it's crucial to understand the data. Foreclosures and bankruptcies are rising, but these leading indicators aren't signaling trouble that would cause another crash. Okay? So even though they're ticking up, it's still well below where it was prior to or during the great crash of 2008. Now, as long as the economy goes strong and it's proving that the economy is still going strong, there shouldn't be a great increase of foreclosures. What would happen if the Federal Reserve still has to increase interest rates, but they haven't. They just had their November meeting and they just left it the way it is. And they see the economy still going. It's slowing down a bit. It's not slowing to the point where they would like it to be, but it's slowing. The only way you may have an increase in foreclosures if the economy completely stops growing and you begin having layoffs, right? People are losing their jobs, and then they can no longer afford their homes. You'll see a bigger uptick in foreclosures and so bankruptcies. All right, let's close this off. And let's put me. Am I on the stream? Okay, I gotta make myself big. There I am. All right. So with that in mind, let's show our little video on foreclosures. Okay. So that video really summarized what we just talked about, where there is an uptick of foreclosures, but it's still not as bad as it was in 2008. Um, and it's kind of ticking up to a normal level. And you hate to say there's a normal level for people foreclosing on their homes because you don't want that to happen. That's a bad thing, a sad thing. But that's the situation right now of the market. Okay. Now, if you decide to sell or buy a home, and you want some, you're kind of a reader. You like to sit back and have some coffee and read about the current market. We have our buyer guides on my blog, and I'll show you the address. Well, I'll show you the address right now. Right below there, real estate with Mr. G.blog/resource-materials. But you could also go on the blog site and you just click on that tab in the menu bar and you'll see the files there, and you could download them for free. So and these come out quarterly. So actually soon, well, next month, we'll have the winter edition of these guides, both the buyer, and let me show you the seller one. Here's the seller things to consider when selling your house. The fall 2023 edition, and you could download them for free. My gift to you, a pre-Christmas gift, all right? And you could download them, and they'll be very helpful. All right. We actually really, like I always wanted to keep these video podcasts under 30 minutes, and we're actually doing that pretty well right now. But I'm hearing from my producer that we might have a very special guest in the audience. Is that true, Isabella?
Mr. G, great news.
Uh, what was that, Isabella?
Mr. G, great news. We have a famous celebrity in the audience. After Robert De Niro called into your video podcast last week, this famous director wanted to see what Real Estate with Mr. G is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of Mean Streets, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, and the recent Killers of the Flower Moon, Mr. Martin Scorsese.
Wow, that was nice for Martin Scorsese to stop by and our audience to see the video podcast. That was very nice of him. Well, actually, 2 weeks ago we had Robert De Niro called in, and we talked to him. And last week I showed an old video that a guest that we had from in our studio audience actually 2 years ago. Dracula stopped by for Halloween, and that was really nice. So that's our video podcast for tonight. This week is Veterans Day, and thank you for all our veterans for your service, for servicing our country. And we're moving into the Christmas season and making preparations. So I hope everything is going well with all your with you and your family. And we'll see you next week. And remember, the greatest power we have is to love, and the greatest gift, each other. And I'll see you next week.